I'm Sam, and this is SamazingTravels.
Week 22. Monday we had Christmas Eve dinner, which was delicious. We did it Cuban style, of course. You know, even though we're not home, we try to strive for the best and season our shit lekker and yummy as usual. Tuesday was Christmas. We had a humble little gathering of presents at the table. We did not have a tree this year. My mom was extremely sad about that. But really, there were plenty of Christmassy kind of looking trees outside. It was, cold, of course. We went walking in Grunewald, which is a little forest outside my house. The road is icy, there were a lot of dogs there, and it got kind of cold really quickly, so we didn't stray too far from the path. Wednesday, Steven and I went to this awesome museum called Topography of Terror. It was all about the SS and World War II and like what they would do to all their prisoners and stuff like that. It's a free museum in Berlin. It was freaking epic. I definitely recommend anyone that goes to go see it. There's even like still structure of the Berlin Wall in front of the museum, so you kind of get a little bit of both histories. It's really nice. After dinner with Timur and Jessica and a new Spanish girl that I have no idea who she is, we went to Kuhdorf, a club in Berlin, the worst club in Berlin, said by true Berliners. But it actually wasn't that bad, you know, once you have bottle service and you're kind of drinking a little bit. The worst club in Berlin becomes really us dancing in cages and bouncing around like idiots. Thursday, I met up with the parentals and Steven in Munich. Friday was Pep's Day. We went to the BMW museum, and I like cars and they're nice and they're pretty to look at, but to look at them for 2 hours was kind of a bore. After that, we hit up Harley Davidson, some more motorized vehicles. Harley Davidson, though, was in a really weird sketch area of Munich, and we were the only ones there. Not to mention, a t-shirt costs like 100 euros. We also saw Olympia Park that day, Munich, where like the 1972 Olympics were, and like all those Israelis were captured and held hostage, all these athletes. It was kind of sad, but there's a really cool memorial about it, and I got to see the track, which was gorgeous. It was huge, like lime green seats, and the track was beautifully red. I just love track, I miss it. Friday night, Alyssa, Steven, and I decide to go to a bar. We are going on the train like usual, you know, how else do we get places around here? All of a sudden there are ticket checkers. For the first time in my fucking life here in Germany, I didn't have a ticket. Guess what? Neither did Alyssa. So these people come up, they're like, ticket, and of course, we don't have a ticket. So I pretend that I'm looking for my ticket. I'm looking for the ticket and I'm like, shit. I know mom has the group ticket, but guess what? Mom is at her hotel sleeping, not with us. We are escorted off the train. We try to pull a whole trick of, we're American, we're leaving back to America tomorrow, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I didn't know, my mom has a ticket. The guy was pretty, sympathetic with us. He's like looking at us like, oh, okay, these poor little girls. But then he had the lady with him. You know the girls are bitches, right? This lady was like, no. We're taking them up to the ATM right now. They're taking out 40 euros and they are gonna pay this ticket. Here we are begging. We were about to cry. So we start digging through our wallets. I'm like, look, we're students here. We live in Berlin. We live in Rostock. Like, we know the rules. We wouldn't get on the train without a ticket. We're so sorry. Alyssa pulls out her ticket from here to Munich. And it said Munich plus city, meaning that you can be in the city and use all the transportation all day. They were like, oh yeah, this is fine, you can use this. And I'm like, oh man, mine was from yesterday, it's not gonna be any good. I pull it out anyway and give it to the guy in hopes that he's like sympathetic with me and decides it's okay. And I didn't want to show the lady. He looks at it, he's like, oh, it's good. Then the lady goes to check it. And I'm like, oh God, that's it. Here it is, I'm gonna pay 40 euro from that Sparkasse ATM, and like, that's the end of me. They accepted my ticket. Apparently, it was still valid. It was the most awesomeness ever of my life. I had never felt so awesome. Never will I not pay for a ticket. I didn't even mean to not pay for that ticket. Saturday was an adventure. Me, Steve, Mom, Pep, and Alyssa, who met us in Munich, went over to Neuschwanstein Castle by Füssen. We went by train early in the morning, tried to get there before all the crowds, but that was impossible because everywhere you went there were tourists. I can see why people want to see the castle. It's absolutely gorgeous on top of this huge mountain that we hiked up. Not only did we get to see the castle, but we also got a workout. My buns are looking good after that thing. That mountain was like steep, and then we had to like beat the horses up there, and then we had to climb even more steps inside the castle. That King, whatever his name is, was really, really in shape, I'm sure. Sunday, we went to Salzburg in Austria. Yes, this is what I love about the EU. I totally forgot my passport, but it's okay because I didn't need it. Salzburg, however, was beautiful. Steven had been there before, so of course he's the human map. He knew the way. It was awesome to see this really old city that's older than Munich, built on, you know, salt money from way back when. We saw this castle that was started being built in 1400s or so. And it's right on top of the city. You can see the entire what used to be village from the top. The weather was awesome. Beautiful day outside. It wasn't even cold. Half the time I didn't even have my coat on. Actually, we got another really great workout in Salzburg. There were a lot of steps and more hills to climb. It was like a workout weekend. We were exhausted after our trip to another country in one day, so we just ate dinner at this amazing Croatian restaurant. It just solidifies the fact that I'm going to Croatia regardless of what happens at the end of this program. Today is New Year's Eve. I'm putting this crap up before New Year's for you guys, or trying to at least. I hope everybody has a guten Rutsch into next year, you know, slide in well. The world didn't end, so that's something to be grateful for already. Happy New Year, go crazy, throw up those fireworks, pop them bottles, and I will see you guys next year. Here is the week in review. Here we are about to eat Noche Buena dinner at my host family's house. They were so gracious to let us use the kitchen and the dining room while they were away. We made a delicious, scrumptious dinner, and that was an apple crumble I made from scratch. I looked the recipe up on the internet, but hey. Here we are at the BMW Museum, the guy doing cool stunt tricks. And now we are at Olympiastadion in Munich. We just traveled 6 hours south to see Munich, and that is the track I was talking about. I stood there proud and pretended that I was watching sprinters and other athletes do cool things. Anyway, we are en route now to the memorial for the Israelis that were captured during the 1972 Olympics. And this is their memorial because unfortunately they were all killed, these poor innocent athletes, but hey, it's alright. Anyway, here we are in Königsplatz. This was Hitler's favorite Platz in all of Germany because it showed power with all this structure and so, and he sheltered it from the war with a giant painting of a garden. Now we're at the Harley Davidson store with Mom and Pep because, you know, they're bikers and they like all that stuff. Marienplatz, beautifully lit with that Christmas tree and obviously that beautiful building. Now we are en route to Neuschwanstein. Beautiful day outside, weather was perfect, the place was packed, this tiny little town. This is King Ludwig's parents' house, actually. And this was the lake that I'm sure they enjoyed wonderful summers there. Now we are on our way up to Neuschwanstein. There it is. For those of you that do not know, Neuschwanstein is the castle that inspired Walt Disney's Cinderella Castle. You know, that little castle you see on a blue screen and it goes like da-da-da-da with that little thing. Yeah, that's the one. Here we are in Austria, in Salzburg. Only a 2-hour train ride away from Munich, and now Steven's giving us the grand old tour by starting off on this giant mountain by this fort that we hiked up. Steven had to help Mom off the ground there. She kind of fell doing her cute little modeling tricks, as you can see. Here's the door to the fort as we make our way over to that castle that you see at the top of that mountain. Here's a very nice view of Salzburg. You can see the river and everything. Very pretty. Good lookout point. Mozart was born in this house that you're looking at. Now we're just on a plaza. We ate lunch somewhere near this plaza. You know, we needed our strength to get up to that castle up there, and here we are at the viewing platform at the top. There's a very nice view of Salzburg from there. And as you can see, many people are enjoying the view. It was really gorgeous. I couldn't offer a better recommendation than to get to the top of that castle. This is a little train we took down. It was a little bit scary, not gonna lie, but we were saved by Jesus in that church, and here is a nice view of Salzburg.